Welcome everyone to a very special edition of the Monday Night Warfare podcast. I'm J.R. Judy, joined by... What the heck happened to your face? You look like Doc Hendricks. You look like Doc Hendricks.
Okay, now that's too low, my friend. That's below the belt, okay?
Do you have a classic WWF videotape for me?
I do, but it's not a videotape. They're DVDs now.
Oh, upgrading.
But the bad news is, it's a house show from 1983.
That's even before Hogan. Who's on that thing?
Larry Zbyszko.
I mean, I could go for some Larry Zbyszko.
Actually,
anyway, welcome to the Monday Night Warfare podcast. J.R. Judy Wade Skaggs here. If you're new to the podcast, hopefully you enjoyed that little bit of whatever the heck that was. But this is the Monday Night Warfare podcast where we go through every week the Monday Night Wars team, Monday Night Raw, and WCW Nitro with a sprinkle of ECW. But this time, Wade, it's a special edition. It is a pay-per-view edition in your house for Great White North. Going into this, you were a little excited for In Your House 4.
Well, yeah, honestly, I don't know if excited is the right word, because you tempered that excitement very... very clearly and concisely.
I tried to protect you after the issue of In Your House 3.
Oh, Moses. Yeah, you know, the card looked really good. So yeah, I was looking forward to it going into it. And then so I said that, and then JR over here said, "Well, temper your expectations because it's hot garbage."
Yeah, In Your House 4, Great White North from Winnipeg, Manitoba, Canada. Not one of the best received pay-per-views in WWF history. At the time, and we'll get there in a minute, lowest bought pay-per-view in WWF history.
Really? Wow.
Keyword is at the time because they will get worse.
Oh, at the time, okay.
Yeah, so the original plan for this week was going to go through the free-for-all, the pre-show for In Your House, and then kind of lead into In Your House. After watching the pre-show, there's about 3 minutes of the pre-show that you need to watch, and the rest of it is just Todd Pettengill sitting in his house running down highlights. But we will not limit or hinder our viewing experience for all of you. We are going to cover a bonus little bit of content, WWF Superstars from 10/21/95. That's the day before In Your House 4. We found a very crappy YouTube stream of this.
Yeah, it was crappy, but I tell you what, it was really cool to watch because this dude recorded a video, like a VHS tape, and then I guess uploaded that to the internet somehow. It was awesome. I tell you what, the show itself was not awesome, but what was awesome is seeing commercials from 1995. It was very nostalgic, I'll tell you that.
Dude, I was more excited for the commercial breaks than anything else on this episode.
Oh yeah,
me
too.
So let's run down Superstars pretty quickly. This will be our technical pre-show for In Your House 4. First thing I noted, there was pyro for Superstars. Like a full-on pyro display. Mm-hmm. On this edition of Superstars, we were supposed to get The Undertaker against Kama Mustafa. Obviously, that matchup did not take place after the attack from Mabel and Yokozuna. That we'll kind of get more Mabel and Yoko, way too much Mabel and Yoko here in a minute. On this episode of Superstars, a couple things to note. Henry O'Godwin defeated Tim Knox. During the match, Hunter Hearst Helmsley comes out and has someone steal the slot bucket. So that'll be something to kind of take note of in the coming weeks. Henry O'Godwin hits the slot drop for the win. Then Hakushi, your boy, went one-on-one with Dean Douglas. During the matchup, Skip and Sonny were at ringside. Radford came to ringside. He's pleading to be the next Body Donna. Dean blocks a springboard splash from Hakushi, hits the Fisherman Suplex for the win. It was competitive, but I don't like that Hakushi kind of jobbed out to Dean Douglas.
Oh yeah, same. I mean, obviously Dean Douglas has got a big night coming up, but still.
Yeah, it's still a competitive matchup. We cut to Doc Hendricks. He's selling cardboard cutouts of Bret Hart, $25 a piece. And
Bret Hart and Shawn Michaels.
And he was awkwardly feeling up those cardboard cutouts. We go to Rikishi Fatu, or Make a Difference Fatu, one-on-one against Terry Richards. Hello, Rhino. How are you? And then during the matchup, we get pre-recorded comments from Triple H, who's disgusted that he must put his hand on a common street person like Fatu. Fatu hits the Superfly Splash, and Rhino takes a loss. Poor Rhino.
Yeah.
I love Rhino.
When is he going to ECW?
We got a while.
Really? Oh, wow. Okay.
We got a while. We get a long recap of the six-man tag match, and then we get a Diesel interview with Vince McMahon. Vince McMahon kind of run down the history of Diesel and the Bulldog. We'll break this down a little more when In Your House comes around. But one thing to note is the matchup they hyped up on Superstars, Waylon Mercy and Diesel, is the British Bulldog came out and distracted Diesel, and Diesel lost to Waylon Mercy by a countout.
Yeah.
What?
That's, nothing has changed. As we said before, nothing has changed. Wins and losses don't matter to Vince McMahon. As long as it furthers the storyline.
Waylon Mercy beat
No
Diesel. Just, what is happening? Diesel says he's going to take the Bulldog to obedience school.
Yep, that was a good line. If you didn't say it, I was going to. Good line.
And then we get Triple H versus the returning Joe Deegan. Hello again, Johnny Swinger. Before Triple H's entrance, Vince McMahon pulls a WCW and says, "There's Chaos backstage." Chaos backstage on a Superstar special edition of Chaos backstage. Triple H is spraying Fatu with his cologne, perfume, whatever he's spraying on the way to the ring. Triple H pedigrees Johnny Swinger and remains undefeated. We get a WWF live event preview. I'm only bringing this up because the British Bulldog's Poop Brown Hat is back. Yeah. Hello, Poop Brown Hat. Also, in 2 weeks on a live event on November the 5th, Ahmed Johnson makes his debut in the World Wrestling Federation. So we're going to have a newcomer, the Pearl River Powerhouse, soon to the World Wrestling Federation. Goldust got a promo on Marty Jannetty, and he says Marty Jannetty will have a panic when the Golden Shark makes his WWF premiere, obviously quoting Jaws. And that was kind of it for Superstars.
Yeah.
We'll kind of transition quickly into the pre-show that it was Sunday Night Slam. We said Todd Pettengill was running down the action from what I'm assuming was his house.
Let's hope so.
I'm assuming his family. I don't know. He's kind of highlighting the matches. Most of the focus, obviously, on the WWF title matchup. Something to note in this is Jim Ross interviewed Gorilla Monsoon about Shawn Michaels' condition. Obviously, the Syracuse incident is still reigning supreme. And Gorilla Monsoon declared on the pre-show that Shawn Michaels is not fit to defend the championship and will thus surrender the championship tonight. As the People's President, Gorilla Monsoon insists there will be an Intercontinental Championship match later on the evening. Dean Douglas and against a wrestler to be determined. That's all we know going into the pay-per-view. So, a couple things to know. I kind of liked how, while Superstars didn't have any big matches, they did at least kind of give you the backstory for these lower card matches on the pay-per-view.
Yeah, for sure.
And at least the pre-show wasn't 2 hours.
Oh, yeah.
Like, you have to point across in 30 minutes versus 2 hours of a pre-show panel.
Yeah.
Wait, I think it's only fitting before we kind of go into this actual pay-per-view that we kind of go over this Shawn Michaels Syracuse incident. We've kind of hinted at it. It's a mess, but it's going to get brought up again. So, for those that do not know, this was October the 5th or 6th, I believe. WWF was on 2 different loops. So, they would split the roster into two sections. They'd do 2 house shows in 2 different cities. Shawn Michaels is on one loop, and he's driving in the car with the British Bulldog and the 1-2-3 Kid. They're outside Club 37 in Syracuse. Shawn Michaels had been reportedly overserved and was flirting with someone he shouldn't have been flirting with. So, end of the night, they're kind of leaving. They're in the car. Donna Jones is the woman driving the car. Shawn Michaels in the front seat, basically passed out. In the back seat of this car, it's a 2-seat Pontiac, so you kind of know how small these cars are. In the back seat, you have 1-2-3 Kid, Robert Jones, who I'm assuming is related to Donna Jones, and in the middle is the 270-pound British Bulldog. Good strategy. Per the police report, the unconscious Shawn Michaels was pulled from the front seat of the car and mercifully, goodness gracious, pummeled and had no chance to defend himself while Bulldog and Kid were stuck in the back seat. Bulldog, who was in the middle, struggled out of the car while Shawn was getting attacked, eventually pulled the perpetrators off of Shawn. The police reported 10 assailants, and the perpetrators were eventually escaped in 2 white Ford Broncos, the official car of criminals. This is the crazy thing, too. One of the Broncos... So, Donna Jones goes inside and gets the bouncer from the club to kind of help break the fight up. One of the Broncos turns around and attempts to run over the bouncer. Like,
jeez, dude.
What? The police report stated nothing about the perpetrators being Marines or servicemen, although the entire group had short crew cut haircuts. Eventually, when they do prosecute somebody, he is a serviceman, so it does come out to be true. The police reported Shawn Michaels suffered a laceration of the right eyelid and right cheek below the eye, 2 black eyes, swelling, and blood coming from the ears and right eye. Dude got messed up.
Oh, yeah.
So, clearly Shawn Michaels in a bad shape, and this was 8 days before the pay-per-view, and you see him on the pay-per-view, and he is in rough shape.
Oh, yeah.
Even 8 days later.
Yeah.
But that kind of sets the stage, I think, for In Your House. Is there anything else you want to talk about before we kind of kick into this pay-per-view? Any thoughts you had going in?
Nope.
Nothing at all.
I had tempered my expectations. I went into this with very low expectations because of you. And it wasn't as bad as I thought it would be until the end, until the last 2 matches.
Oh, we're going to discuss. I'm going to bury 2 more of these matches for you.
Okay.
You're only going to leave this conversation liking 2 of these matches. Just so you know. All right, so In Your House for Great White North from the Winnipeg Arena in
Winnipeg, you idiot.
Manitoba, Canada. 10,339 fans, Wade. 9,000 of them paid. That's up from 5,100 fans for In Your House 3, so that's a good draw. I mean, Canada was ready for a pay-per-view.
Yeah.
Problem is, it's 100,000 pay-per-view buys, which is down from 175,000 for In Your House 3. So clearly the screwy triple header match, I think, screwed them over for these pay-per-views. And the other thing to take note of is in 7 days' time is WCW Halloween Havoc 95. I know when I was a kid, we weren't getting both. You like if we were gonna buy a pay-per-view in a month, like, and they were rare to get. Yeah, it was rare we'd buy a pay-per-view, but we weren't buying the WWF and the WCW in the same month.
Yeah,
so
for sure.
I think people were more intrigued for monster trucks in about a week.
I would be. No doubt.
Vince McMahon, Jerry the King Lawler, and Jim Ross are on commentary. Before the show actually started, we had one dark match. Bob Holly defeated Rad Radford in 4:02. We'll kind of cover the after dark matches as well, because In Your House with the 2-hour pay-per-view, the live crowd got some more action. So after the pay-per-view, Psycho Sid defeats Henry Godwin in 12:34. Good God. Owen Hart and Yokozuna defeat Savio Vega and Bam Bam Bigelow in 13:22. And Bret the Hitman Hart wrestled Isaac Yankem DDS again. Bret beats him at 14:10.
Wow.
How many times are they gonna wrestle for an hour?
That's all after the pay-per-view?
Yeah, there was 3 after the pay-per-view.
I would have left, honestly.
Well, I mean, we'll get there. Certain people left out of the main event anyway. So the show opens with Tony Wilson singing the Canadian National Anthem. Hey, Wade, what's your favorite Tony Wilson song?
The Canadian National Anthem.
Mine too. We cut to Gorilla Monsoon, who is again announcing now for the pay-per-view audience Shawn Michaels is not allowed to compete. He has asked Shawn Michaels to forfeit the championship to Gorilla Monsoon, which he will immediately present to Dean Douglas.
Yeah.
So now Dean Douglas will become the Intercontinental Champion. Dean Douglas will then defend the championship against Razor Ramon. Why does Razor get the title shot?
Excuse you, why wouldn't he?
Because he already has a World Tag Team title shot.
That's true. That's a good point. I don't know.
Owen Hart, Savio Vega, Henry Godwin, Bret Hart, Bam Bam Bigelow. Like, there's so many people.
Know. Yeah, there are so many people. You know, later on, they talk about Razor hitting a certain milestone. So maybe that's what they wanted. Yeah, I don't know, man. But what's interesting is that Monsoon specifically said he won't allow Shawn to fight because he had a concussion. You don't hear that anymore these days, you know. Yeah, I was very surprised when he said that he was just going to straight give the title to Dean Douglas. I thought that maybe, you know, when he said he was going to forfeit the title, I thought maybe it would be like they would face each other and the winner would be the champion. That's what they would do these days. So it was very surprising to hear him say, like, hey, Dean Douglas is a champion now.
Congratulations, okay. Dean. So anyway, Dean Douglas, the new Intercontinental Champion, he'll have his first title defense later tonight on In Your House 4. We get the In Your House intro. The fans are outside the arena. They're excited for In Your House. I like that the In Your House logo jumped through the TV this time. It was so excited to get to In Your House.
Yeah.
We cut to the commentary desk. Why is fake Diesel in the crowd and right behind Vince McMahon? That was weird. We go to our first matchup. Hunter Hearst Helmsley against Make a Difference Fatu. Backstory for this match, we talked about it. It was yesterday on Superstars that Triple H sprayed his perfume cologne on Fatu. Mm-hmm. And that was the build for that match.
Yep.
Hooray! Before the bell, Triple H is trying to spray Fatu. Fatu steals the bottle, and then right in front of the camera, a sign pops up. Hi, Todd, you on camera. I should have put that in the 150 Wildest Crowd Sign video.
Oh, God,
if you haven't seen it, go check it on YouTube. It's great. Huge back body drop on Triple H by Fatu to start this matchup. Triple H had over the top rope, and before he could even take his jacket off, this man is fighting in a riding jacket.
Oh, yeah.
He attempts to slam Fatu's head into the turnbuckle. It doesn't work. Super strong hump Samoan head.
Yep.
Triple H throws Fatu towards the ropes, and Fatu gets stuck in between the ropes. This is like super dangerous.
Yeah, bro, this keeps happening too, man. It happened 2 months ago to Brett at SummerSlam. You know, this is how Mick Foley lost his ear. I'm like, bro, is this, like, at first when it happened to Brett, I thought it was an accident. Now I'm thinking this is just a thing that they did.
They just like this spot for some reason. I don't know why.
Some reason, I don't know.
Fatu's head stuck in the
People are losing ears.
Losing heads, losing ears, whatever. Triple H comes off the top rope with Fatu's head stuck in the rope. Triple H with a huge pile driver on Fatu. And then he really decides to slow down the pace, and he's starting to wear down Fatu. And why is there a vampire in the front row? Dear God, that is terrifying.
Dude, I was going to say this. I noticed it too, and the commentary didn't notice it until later on. So later on, keep listening. They'll talk about it. But it's about 12 minutes on Peacock. I'm looking here, and I'm like, bro, what is this? Is there a zombie in the audience? What's going on here? This, like, you see it, and I'm like, bro, there's a dead person sitting in this audience. This is Weekend at Bernie's Wrestling Edition.
Bro, like, I knew he was there. I've known he's there since I was a kid, and I remember seeing him. But I had forgotten he was there. Mm-hmm. When I saw him, I couldn't stop watching him the entire night. I'm like, what is he doing now? What's the vampire man doing now?
And he moves a little bit, too. I'm like, what? He moves seats or something. What's going on?
Yeah. During the match, Fatu's in a submission hold. Referee asks if he wants to submit. Fatu listens to his tights and just says no. Did you see that? He had just say no on his tights. Hunter hits Fatu with a clothesline, turns him inside out, only gets a 2 count. Fatu blocks the pedigree, gets caught with a DDT though. Fatu pops right back up. Massive super kick. Fatu with a big diving headbutt off the middle by Fatu, only gets a 2 count. Fatu with a diamond cutter? What? Where did that come from? He goes to the top rope, goes for the Superfly Splash. Hunter moves out of the way. Hunter hits the pedigree. Triple H still undefeated. Wade, thoughts on the first match?
Oh, I have thoughts. I tell you what, this I mean, it really altogether was a solid match. I wasn't expecting a lot from it. It was solid. What the funny thing was, the Samoan head thing, you see to great effect here, in one way at least. Now, he throws his head into the turnbuckle and to no effect. He gets the DDT to no effect. However, when he punches him in the head, it does affect Fatu. So I guess Skip, it just has really weak fists and elbows. Because Triple H
has
can hit him in the
hands.
head just fine. Apparently.
Skip has girly hands.
So the DDT didn't work, but the pedigree does? There's not much difference between a pedigree and a DDT.
Listen, the pedigree is the most powerful move in all of wrestling. Spoilers for the next 5 years.
More like 10 years.
Yeah, we're not covering 10 years, though. We'd be here forever.
That's true. Although, honestly, I think I might keep going.
We might. Who knows? So they go 8:06. After the match, Jerry Lawler goes to congratulate and interview Triple H. He said it was disgusting to have to touch Fatu, but he did what he had to do. Speaking of disgusting, here comes Henry O. Godwin, who tries to slop Triple H, and Triple H literally hides behind Jerry Lawler and runs away.
So funny, dude. I love this. Triple H uses Jerry as a human shield. It was hilarious.
This was one of those times where, like, Triple H was clearly in 2 feuds yesterday on Superstars, but this was, like, that kind of crossover point where he gets out of one and gets into another. So I kind of like it. It makes sense. Unlike, like, Razor is in 15 different feuds right now, and they're all going at the same time.
I don't know how he got in a feud with Godwin in the first place. Besides stealing the slot bucket, but why?
Because he's a gross human being. Have you not understood? Triple H hates the gross. He hates the
guess
uggos.
So. Honestly, it's good enough for me.
It's 1995. Doesn't have to make any more sense than that.
Yep.
We go backstage. Doc Hendrick is with the British Bulldog and Jim Cornette. There's no brown hat anymore. Where is his motivation from the Queen?
No, the princess.
The princess. Whatever. He'll never win the title now. Bulldog says he's in Diesel's house and he's going to win the championship. Diesel's not from Canada. He's from Detroit.
I don't know, dude.
We go to the World Tag Team title matchup. The Soapy Wet Cowboys, the Smoking Guns, to defend against Razor Ramon and the 1-2-3 Kid. Backstory for this matchup, Wade, really, it kind of centers around, can the Kid and Razor coexist? They've been bickering for months, inadvertently costing each other matches against Dean Douglas. A couple weeks ago on Raw, we had the one match that turned into 3, maybe 4, where Razor kept beating the Kid. But now
how do you have a half match? Go back to last week and find out.
But now Razor respects the Kid, and they're friends again. On the Smoking Gun side, they defeated Owen Hart and Yokozuna the night after In Your House 3. They're the new World Tag Team Champions. And really, this is a weird match. Pre-match, Smoking Guns make their entrance. Razor and Kid are cutting an interview right between the entrance, and Razor says they patched up their problems. 1-2-3 Kid comes out. Hey, that's pretty sweet, dude. Ha! See what I did there? He did the thing.
I love how they keep doing this. Like, commentary interviews people backstage. Like, there's stuff going on inside the arena, but the commentary guys are interviewing people backstage. Why? I don't.
It's a weird dynamic they were trying out with. I didn't like him. I did like Billy Gunn's new haircut. He looked very dapper.
Very dapper. Not as dapper as the Yapper, but still dapper nonetheless.
Smoking Guns offer a handshake. Razor and Kid taunt him instead. Billy really overpowers the Kid to start the match. The crowd is super. Go ahead.
The crowd is super. I think before the match started, or right as the match was starting, we have a great line from Jim Ross. Did I skip ahead or did it? Do you know what I'm talking about?
Possibly. Go ahead and just say it.
Let me tell you, I think it happened right at the beginning of the match, as the match was starting. Jim Ross says that the Smoking Guns are from South Texas, and they went to Sam Houston State University on rodeo scholarships.
Well, and then Jerry Lawler, they asked Jerry how many people he knows on a rodeo scholarship, and he goes, "The Guns have scholarships? Then 2."
Like, who believes this? What's a rodeo scholarship, man? From Sam Houston State University? Okay, like, who comes up with these lines, mans?
I am sure there is somebody from Texas who's like, yeah, that's a real thing. These 2 dumb guys from the suburbs have no idea about rodeo. And you're right, I have no idea.
You're absolutely right.
I just know some of them taste good when you cook them in the right way.
That's right.
Crowd is really behind Razor every time he does anything, to the point he tags in and just shoots finger guns at Bart, and the crowd is all about that. Razor unloads with a few punches, sends Bart over the ropes, or sends Bart into the ropes, and the 1-2-3 Kid pulls down the top rope, sending Bart to the floor, which causes Vince McMahon to question the sportsmanship of the 1-2-3 Kid. 1-2-3 Kid tags in. He's really aggressive with a kick combo in the corner on Bart. And then the 1-2-3 Kid takes a cheap shot at Billy and then goes back to work on Bart with leg drops. So the 1-2-3 Kid's got a little bit of an edge on him. Razor picks up the very large Bart gun and throws him with a fall-away slam like he is nothing. And then he fall-away slams the 1-2-3 Kid into Bart, which I thought was really cool.
Yeah,
Only gets a 2 count. And then they cut backstage to Dean Douglas in his classroom.
I knew you would love this.
Dean Douglas. He's taking notes, and I want to die.
I knew you would love it. But yeah, honestly, though, it makes sense. It makes perfect sense that he would be doing this. He's facing Razor later on in the night for the title. It makes perfect sense that he would. No one ever does this. So it makes sense.
I'll say 2 things. 1, I agree it makes sense. And 2, at least he's watching the TV at kind of a normal angle, unlike 2022 WWE, where you have to watch at a weird
Yeah.
unnatural way to watch a television.
Mm-hmm.
Billy tags in, takes over like a house of fire, and then the guns start to isolate the 1-2-3 kid. Bart's hitting backbreakers, really kind of wearing down the kid. Nice suplex and a dropkick combo from the guns, only gets a 2 count. Billy misses a corner splash and hits his head on the steel post. I don't know if you caught that. He was way up there.
Mm.
I liked this false finish. Referee's distracted after a collision. Bart pulls Billy on top of the kid to kind of get the pin. Referee catches Bart and says, no, 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 no. Referee turns his back. Razor comes in, reverses the pinfall. Kid only gets a 2 count. I'm like, yeah, that was the crowd. The crowd believed it. I believed it. I'm like, yeah, that's fun.
Very good sequence there. I like that a lot.
Razor hits Billy with the Razor's Edge, but instead of going for the cover, the kid is pleading,
Here we
Razor,
go.
let me tag him. Let me pin him. Let me win it for us.
Here we
Razor
go.
Razor eventually makes the tag.
Keyword eventually. This sequence took 5 minutes.
Oh, it took forever. Kid comes in, cocky cover, Billy reverses with a crucifix pin, and in 12:46, the Soapy Wet Cowboys retain the World Tag Team titles, and the 1-2-3 gets thrown a temper tantrum.
Yeah, they said that's the thing that you said before about the kid being a kid. The commentary says he's throwing a temper tantrum. I'm just sitting here rolling my eyes, dude. Like, come on. Yeah, dude. This he hits the Razor's Edge. The Razor's Edge is like one of the greatest finishers ever. Like based on how big they build it up, even like during the match, commentary is building it up and everything. The crowd goes wild, and then, bruh, he's like, "Do you want it? Do you want it?" The kid is like, "Hey, tag me in, tag me in." It takes 5 minutes. He's laying there in the ring for 5 minutes.
Yeah, and essentially, I mean, cost them the World Tag Team titles. After the match, the kid goes on the attack on Billy and Bart. Razor comes back in to protect the kid from the beatdown, and he eventually hands the titles back to the Guns. Razor applauds the Guns, but man, the crowd is booing the Soapy Wet Cowboys. They did not like that finish, and the match was good
Yeah,
until the end.
yeah.
In case you care, I know we don't cover match ratings a lot from either dirt sheets or newsletters or fan polls or whatever. The World Tag Team title match was the best and highest rated match on the show.
Really?
What was better than it? You tell me what was better.
Well, I guess you're right. The match in general, yeah, I guess you're right.
and that's the thing. It had a crappy finish, and it's still the best match on the card because this is the part in the show where I'm going to start ripping it apart and make you hate this pay-per-view.
Yeah. Oh, you don't have much work to do. I'll tell you that.
It's terrible. After the match, after the beatdown from the kid and Razor, we cut to Doc Hendrick. He's again selling those cutouts, and this time it gets weird. He looks in the camera and goes, "Hey, ladies, imagine having Shawn Michaels in your house 24/7. Kids, imagine Bret Hart watching you sleep. What a freaking creep! What is wrong with Doc Hendrick?"
Oh my God! If I'm 5 years old at this time, bro, I'm thinking, bro, like I love Bret Hart, but I don't want him to watch me sleeping.
Here's the thing. I remember as a kid, like I had one of the WWF magazines, and I'm like, yeah, Bret Hart cutout would be cool in my room. I was like 5. I'm like, that would be cool. If I would have heard that, I would have never wanted that ever.
That's right.
Mom, take the poster off the wall. They're watching me. Doc Hendrick said so.
Mm-hmm.
We go from creepy of one sort to creepy of another. It is the debut of Goldust, one-on-one
Yes,
with
sir.
Marty Jannetty. After Marty's entrance, we get pre-recorded comments from Goldust, who says, "Tonight will be lights, camera, and so much action. Mr. DeMille, I'm ready for my close-up. It is time for the premiere of Goldust. It starts to rain gold from the ceiling.
Yeah.
And the paparazzi follows Goldust to the ring. I am so glad the paparazzi thing did not become a fixture of his entrance. That was so distracting. And, had to be blinding for him on the way to the ring.
Bruh, here I'm of two minds of this. First of all, I'm going to have to disagree with you. But on the other hand, I'll agree with you. Stay tuned, okay?
I'm confused.
You're absolutely right. I was thinking when I was watching this, Goldust and the people right there in the row have got to be blinded by all these flashing lights. If you haven't seen this, watch it again, though, because me watching it on TV, I thought it was awesome. You've seen the flashing lights. had like the kind of, it's almost like a strobe effect. You see him walking down the ring and the strobe effect and all that stuff. I thought it was really cool. And the glitter or confetti or whatever dropping from the ceiling, I thought it was like an effect. And then people were like picking it out of the air and stuff, and I'm like, oh no, it's real. So I'm like, bro, could you imagine having glitter fall on you? Like how annoying that would be. Like it was a cool effect, but geez, if you're sitting under it, that would suck. If it really was glitter and not confetti.
Yeah, I don't know what it was, but I think that they'll eventually tweak the entrance of Goldust and make it kind of what we know it is. I think if they would have done the paparazzi like they did for Eminem, where they still had camera flashes, but they weren't like
But the arena wasn't dark.
Well, that, and they weren't giant spotlights that were blinding everybody.
Yeah.
The crowd is uncomfortably silent during the entrance, and even more silent when he takes off the wig and has the black ears. I remember I was listening to Bruce Pritchard's podcast, and he says when Goldust takes the wig off, he looks like a banana with black ears. And he really did. Again, this is the early incarnation of Goldust. The makeup will change. The entrance will change.
Oh yeah. Honestly, I don't mind them, or I don't blame them for not being that loud, because I'm thinking like, am I supposed to root for this guy or boo this guy? I don't really know. So I think a lot of people at the time would have felt the same way.
Yeah, it is something very uncomfortable, and I think it did what it was supposed to do.
Oh yeah.
But so Goldust goes on the attack, hits a back body drop on Marty Jannetty. There's so many back body drops on this show. Like, I didn't notice it at first, but like as I'm taking my notes, I'm like, I have wrote back body drops so many times. Goldust is kind of stalling and avoiding Marty at the beginning of this matchup and creating some distance. Marty turns Goldust inside out with a clothesline on the entrance ramp. And then at some point during the stalling, the vampire stands up and points at Goldust. Why are you doing this, you creepy man? Yep.
I don't know, man.
Leave Goldust alone, you freak. Yeah, lots of stalling in the beginning of this match. It is slow.
Yeah.
Marty Jannetty takes over Goldust the Frankensteiner, and Goldust comes back with the shove. And not even a shove to the ground. Like, he just shoves him, and Marty still stands up. Jannetty avoids a leapfrog, knocks down Goldust. Marty leapfrogs Goldust, and then Goldust turns Marty inside out with a clothesline. That's the third turn somebody inside out with a clothesline.
Mm-hmm.
Goldust on the offense hits Marty Jannetty with, wait for it, a back body drop. Goldust attacks Jannetty on the floor. Jannetty snap mirrors Goldust at one point from the inside of the ring over the top of the floor. That was kind of cool. Mm-hmm. And then here's my favorite spot of the match. The only spot I remember from this entire match, like watching it originally. Goldust counters Marty Jannetty on the floor and sends him bouncing off the ring post. He bounced. It was vicious. Goldust suplexes Marty from the outside in, gets a 2 count, and then Goldust again slows the match down. Jannetty at one point takes over Goldust with a backflip thing. Something happened there. Jannetty misses a splash from the corner. Why is there a scary close-up on the Vampire Man? Goldust hits a DDT, only gets a 2 count. Marty hits the rocker dropper, and again, go for the cover after the rocker dropper. That's your finish, you idiot.
Yep.
Marty goes for the top rope foot drop or fist drop. Goldust moves. Marty pauses, and then eventually attacks Goldust awkwardly. And then he goes again for the fist drop, and Goldust puts the boot up. I think that was what was supposed to happen the first time. Mm-hmm. Goldust hits a front suplex and gets the win in 11:15, and then King says that he shattered the dreams of Marty Jannetty.
Yep, there it is. Was this the first time saying that? Was that a thing then yet?
I mean, it was his debut, so I'm assuming that it was the first time they said it. And then they also said in his contract that Goldust must get special lighting on the way out of the ring. That match sucked.
Yeah, I can't disagree, my friend.
It sucked.
I was honestly,
like, I understand the importance of it was the debut of Goldust. Mm-hmm. That was the important moment they were trying to get to. But, man, did that match suck.
Yeah. Honestly, I was looking forward to it. Marty Jannetty, I mean, Marty's a great wrestler, honestly, and we know how great Goldust is. But if you were just to watch this, like back in the day, there's no way fans would have thought that this guy is going to actually become a legend. Um, so yeah, the match was not great. It was pretty boring. Goldust wins with a gourd buster, which I don't think I've seen him ever do before. Maybe he never did it again. I don't know. The Shattered Dreams line really caught my attention. Yeah, not a highlight of the show.
So after the match, we go to the WWF Superstar line, 1-900-737-4WWF. Winners and losers are on the call all night. Interesting one here. The Smoking Guns and the 123 Kid are on the lines. And the Kid looks like he is being a dick to somebody.
Yeah.
So
I gotta, bruh, like, what do they say here? Is it like pre-recorded things that you call in here?
I'm assuming they're recording a message. You call in, and you either select winner or loser, and then you hear the message.
That's what I was assuming too.
And they get $1.49 a minute.
Yeah.
So what they're saying is, hey kid, how long can you be a jerk for? Can you run this for 5 minutes? I wonder what their profit margin, how much they actually brought in from these superstar lines.
I don't know. I'm curious.
Honestly, we've said we never called them. I never had any desire to call the WWF hotline. Like Mean Gene's, I'm like, I might want to call Mean Gene's. Never did it, but I wish I would have called Mean Gene here, so Mean Gene could have told me to not watch this next match. It's King Mabel against Yokozuna. Here's the backstory. Gorilla Monsoon had originally scheduled The Undertaker against King Mabel in that very long 6-man tag on that very bad episode of Raw. They say King Mabel and Yokozuna have broken the face of The Undertaker. In reality, he has broken his orbital bone at a house show wrestling King Mabel. So Gorilla Monsoon, the people's president, decides, I'm going to give them a match they want to see. Yokozuna against Mabel. They do announce The Undertaker is going to return at the Survivor Series next month, so we will get to see Undertaker soon. Mabel is being carried to the ring, and he's dancing. He's very happy. Hello, Rhino, carrying Mabel. How are you? How are your legs? How
I didn't even notice. Nice, very nice.
He was front and center. Poor Rhino.
He was really young then. I didn't even notice. Yeah, he is. He's moving around, dancing and stuff like that. I'm like, bruh, you're going to be dropped and murder someone. Like, there's going to be a crater in the ground. There's going to be a crater in the ground right there.
He had a man beast carrying him. He was fine. Rhino was there. Jim Cornette's interviewed during the entrances again. He's upset Gorilla Monsoon makes this match, and he wants to he says that Gorilla Monsoon wants to cause issues between Mabel and Yokozuna and save the WWF from destruction. For this match, Wade, Mabel weighed in at 568 pounds. Yoko weighed in at 641 pounds. And they didn't reinforce the ring for this.
Nope. Where was Tony Schimmel? We don't know.
Those freaking rebels. Jerry Lawler said on commentary that Mabel was trying to gain weight to keep up with Yokozuna. That's a terrible life choice. Mabel slaps Yokozuna. They start exchanging punches. Yoko sends Mabel to the floor with a clothesline. Lots of stalling. Mabel takes down Yoko with a leaping clothesline. Lots of stalling. Mo at one point yells at Yokozuna. Mabel splashes him in the corner. Mabel shows off some cool dance moves because we're still stalling. Mabel comes in for a splash. Yoko takes him out with a clothesline. Good bump by Mabel on the clothesline. Yoko misses a leg drop. Mabel misses an elbow. Mabel attempted a bulldog, maybe, and then just missed, I think. But Yoko still fell to the floor because he was tired. Mabel goes out to attack him. Mo shoves down Jim Cornette. A tired Yokozuna falls on Jim Cornette. And the referee counts out both guys at 5 minutes and 12 seconds. Cool. Thanks, Gorilla Monsoon.
Real great. Oh, yeah, this is what the fans wanted to see. Good job. Good job, Gorilla. Okay, bro, what's even going on here? I tell you what, one thing, though, that was funny. At one point in the match, Jim Cornette is outside on the ground, and Yokozuna just straight flops on him. Like, that was wild, bro. I'm like, Jim Cornette is dead after this, dude.
Yeah, it was very, very bad. We'll cover it towards the end of the year. I'm convinced that it might be the worst match all year. Like, we may have just witnessed the worst wrestling match we will cover in 1995.
You're probably right.
I don't know if we're going to do a year-end awards thing or not, but if we do, this is the worst match of 1995.
That's the front runner, my friend.
No. It is the only runner, and it's not running very fast with those two. It's not running very fast.
Very true, very true.
After the match, Yoko and Mabel re-enter the ring, and they're having a stare down for a long time.
Oh, yeah.
Like an awkwardly long time.
Yep. Sir Mo and Jim Cornette are trying to separate them from each other for a while, too.
It's a super awkward, long stare down.
Yeah.
And then it turns into a super awkward hug.
Yeah.
And then we just kind of fade out to a Survivor Series commercial. Why? They wasted like 3 minutes on a hug. The hug segment was almost as long as the match.
I don't know, man.
At this point, for my entertainment, I wish they would have put Mo and Cornette in between the hug and just had like a weird, awkward group hug.
Might as well.
And then maybe put me in the middle and kill me so I wouldn't have to watch any more of this show.
Yeah.
Survivor Series commercial, Undertaker's return, Bret Hart's attempt to regain the WWF title. Biggest thing I noted, Survivor Series is presented by Milton Bradley's Karate Fighters. Oh, yeah. Did you ever have those as a kid?
I don't think I had any, but I remember them being a thing.
I remember I don't know. I didn't have them, but somebody we knew had them, and I played them, and like they were stupid fun. I want them to come back.
Oh, yeah.
And then we go to the commentators talking about the Survivor Series and the new concept of the wild card match, where friends and foes can end up on the same team. I remember the wild card match just because of how ridiculous these teams are. When they get announced, you're gonna be like, what is happening with the WWF in '95?
I'm looking forward to it.
We're going to learn more about the wild card match tomorrow night on Raw. We cut to the ring. Doc Hendricks and Gorilla Monsoon.
Hold on.
Okay.
I got to stop you, friend. I got to stop you. Well, you should be. You want to know why I love Jerry the King Lawler so much?
Always.
If you're sitting here watching this, Jerry Lawler, while JR and Vince McMahon are talking about stuff like Survivor Series and whatever, Jerry Lawler is in the back, just not paying attention to what they're saying at all, but he's mean-mugging the fans all around him, like. And then there's this girl who has a big Bret Hart poster, and he grabs it and tries to take it away from her. They have a little mini tug-of-war, and she gets it back, and she's like this, Mom, this guy's real weird, you know? It was so...
Well, I mean, she's not
sitting
wrong there.
When you started talking about the wild card match, I didn't even know what you were talking about at first, because I was so concentrated on this happening. It was hilarious.
Jerry Lawler is overbearing at times, but always entertaining.
Oh, yeah.
So in the ring, Doc Hendrick introduces the, at the time, Intercontinental Champion, Shawn Michaels. This is the public forfeiting of the Intercontinental Championship. Mm-hmm. Shawn is somberly making his way to the ring. Jim Ross is the team neurologist from the Dallas Cowboys, it's your boys, said Shawn Michaels shouldn't even compete if he wore a helmet. We talked about it. Shawn Michaels was attacked 8 days ago, and he looks rough. The stupid vampire is so distracting in this very serious moment. And I'm like, dude. Shawn attempts to hand over the championship to Gorilla after a lot of hesitation. He's really kind of milking this and in a good way, not a bad way. Yeah. Dean Douglas steals the championship, turns to the camera and goes, that was easy, with Shawn over his shoulder. The camera work for this is amazing. Like the shots and the angles where like you've got Dean being a real dick in the front of the camera, and Shawn's like in the background, just like looking like he is ready to just like die.
Yeah.
A+ effort on the camera work here. As Shawn's walking up the entrance ramp, you get that classic sad Shawn Michaels look that they're gonna use forever. But you hear over the arena that Doc Hendricks announcing Dean Douglas as the new Intercontinental Champion, and Dean starts to taunt Shawn up the way. And I even wrote, Shawn looks heartbroken. Pun fully intended.
Yes, sir.
But like it took a while, but it was well done. I thought this segment was really good.
Yeah, for sure.
The problem is it kills the crowd for this next match. because this crowd, who was hot for Razor Ramon, is dead for a lot of it. They talk about Razor Ramon, and this is what you kind of alluded to earlier. If Razor Ramon wins tonight, he becomes the first 4-time Intercontinental Champion in WWF history.
Yes,
Dean
sir.
tries to jump Razor before the bell. Razor fights him off. This is the return match from In Your House 3, where Dean defeated Razor with the inadvertent assist from the 1-2-3 Kid and a weird Bob Backlund run-in. Spoiler alert, In Your House 3 match, way better than this one. Way better than this one. Don't even tell me it wasn't. This match is so slow, dude. Razor starts working the left arm. Crowd is dead. He keeps working the arm. Razor does hit a nice fall-away slam and clotheslines Dean over the floor. And then it's just slow again. He's kind of working the arm. He sends Dean over kind of off the apron with a big right hand. Suplexes Dean from the apron back in the ring. He changed up his strategy and starts working on the back of Dean Douglas. They say he's kind of setting up for the Razor Ramon or for the Razor's Edge. They're kind of just punching and kicking, and Dean's not doing much of anything in this match, which doesn't make sense because Razor wrestled a match. Dean didn't. This is stupid. Razor steals Jerry Lawler's water bottle and dumps it on Dean Douglas, and it enrages Dean to get like 3 punches in, and then it's right back. It's
and
right
what
back.
The funny was that Jerry, I think it was Jerry, said, "Well, that may have revitalized him. He got water thrown on him. Maybe that helped him out." So I'm like, you know what? That's a good point.
He got like 3 punches in, and Razor took back over. Razor goes for the Razor's Edge. Dean with a backdrop over the floor. God, how many backdrops are there on this show? Dean finally gets some offense. Not a lot, but he actually gets a little bit of offense on Razor. Dean comes off the top. Razor catches him with a chokeslam. Dean Douglas attempts a crossbody. Razor rolls through, only gets a 2 count. Dean catches him with a drop kick. Razor gets his foot on the rope to break up the pin. Let me say it again. Razor got his foot on the rope to break up the pinfall. Razor then hits a back suplex on Dean Douglas. Drapes an arm over Dean Douglas. Dean's entire leg is under the bottom rope. The referee counts 3. They do the hesitation of like what's going to happen? What are they going to do? And the ring announcer goes, the Intercontinental Champion, Razor Ramon. I'm like, dude, what? Dean's pleading his case, and he got screwed.
Oh, he absolutely did. Are you kidding me? Absolutely.
That match was terrible.
Honestly, let me say something
terrible.
to you. Let me say something to you, Jimbo. I didn't think the match itself was all that bad, really. I think the match itself was kind of solid. Was it great? No. But I thought it was not too bad of a match. I wrote in my notes. No. When I wrote in my notes, you probably will. I wrote in my notes something that can be said many times recently, and I quote, "Solid match, BS finish." And that's the story of the WWF, really. And the WWE.
Yeah, the finish killed this match. And not even
it was so weird, dude.
Not even talk.
Yeah, go ahead.
No, I was saying, not even talking about the finish. Yeah. The match itself, you would have thought, with the pacing that they were going to do, they would have gone like 25 minutes. They went 11:01, and there was nothing for like 7 minutes of that match.
Yeah.
This goes to, I don't think, it's been said Razor and Dean never liked each other, and that shows. But I also think they just don't have any chemistry. I didn't like the In Your House 3 match. I'd much rather watch that again than this dumpster fire.
I guess you're right. Yeah, bro, it doesn't make any sense. Like, when's the last time you saw a guy pin another guy when his own back was on the mat? Razor, if you haven't seen this, he doesn't just put his arm over Dean. His own back is on the mat. He goes, ugh. Put my arm on the other guy like this, and the ref counts it. Meanwhile, as you said, my dude Dean, his whole entire right side of his body is under the ropes, basically. I'm thinking watching this, like, oh yeah, okay, the ref's gonna see it. 1, 2, oh nope, here it goes, his legs under the rope. Nope.
Even babyface commentator Vince McMahon is like, oh, he was under the rope. But the referee's decision's final on the World Wrestling Federation. I'm like, shut up, Vince. Like, that's terrible. That was bad.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, man. After the match, we go back to the WWF Superstar line. Shawn Michaels on the phone. Man, his right eye looks disgusting. He got, and then we get our main event. Before our main event, Bret the Hitman Hart comes out for commentary. He's the #1 contender. He'll face the winner at the Survivor Series. Jerry Lawler gets on the table. He has been talking smack all night about Bret Hart, coming out to sit with him. And then eventually he gets on the table. He's taunting Bret Hart, saying, all right, let's fight. Bret chases Jerry all the way up through the curtain. So Jerry Lawler nowhere to be seen for this main event. We get a very nice hug between Bret and Vince. They have a truly unbreakable bond, Wade, that will never be broken. Nothing will ever tear them apart.
No, nothing will ever come between these guys. They have such a great relationship, and they work so well together in Canada.
Bret screwed Bret. I have no sympathy whatsoever for Bret.
They love each other, especially in Canada.
Oh yeah.
Backstory for our main event, August the 21st on Raw, the British Bulldog was teaming with Diesel against Men on a Mission. Bulldog turns his back on Diesel. He aligns himself with Jim Cornette. We had the 6-man tag match where the Bulldog pins Diesel. That was on October the 2nd on Raw. And then really just kind of put the boots to after the 6-man tag. This is Bulldog's first opportunity at the WWF Championship. Bulldog makes his way to the ring, and we cut immediately away to Doc Hendricks promoting a T-shirt during the main event. Also, where was the poop brown hat? Still haven't seen it. I think
that was a gift from Princess Di. Okay.
I think we might need to R.I.P. the poop brown hat.
Yeah.
I got a bad feeling.
Rest in poop.
Your Diesel, getting ready for his match, gets ambushed by Doc Hendricks, who
is a good line. But, Diesel's going out to the ring, and he says, and I quote, Doc, I'm feeling awfully funky. And then goes to the curtains.
Yeah.
Bro, what does that mean?
Why can neither world champion on a major Monday show cut a sensible promo? How is the drunk Sandman getting the best promos of a world champion in 1995
Good point. I'm feeling awfully funky. It wasn't just funky. It was funky. Put that on a T-shirt.
Diesel's pyro, always impressive. Almost blows up Jim Cornette. Did you catch that?
Mm-hmm.
Fake Diesel in the crowd. Really excited about this main event. So, at least his hero's here.
Not Glenn Jacobs.
Yeah.
It was a fan, in case you were wondering.
Yeah, Glenn Jacobs is still a little busy with some teeth issues. Diesel starts the match up and starts slamming the Bulldog around. Bulldog tries to attack Diesel, but the champion counters and pulls Bulldog head first into the steel post. He's got his legs up. I thought that was a cool counter. Diesel's moving at the start of this match. Like he hits 2 corner clotheslines. He's booking it. And then... Here's what I didn't like. Diesel gets distracted by Jim Cornette. Bulldog attacks the leg of Diesel. Diesel then gets drop kicked to the floor by the Bulldog. And he kind of lands on top of Bret. And Bret's just like, I'm going to keep you from breaking these monitors. Diesel shoves...
He puts his hands on his back like this to try to keep him up.
Diesel shoves Bret. Bulldog comes in with a chop block. And this is where this match dies.
Oh, yeah.
Bulldog starts working the leg. And working the leg. And working the leg.
Oh yeah.
They're trying to fill time on commentary. They're asking Bret Hart who do you prefer to face? And Bret goes, I don't really care. Mm-hmm. Jim Cornette gets the best crowd reaction of the night, elbow dropping Diesel on the floor and just continually attacking Diesel. Because the Bulldog has made this match a snail's pace. I don't think Diesel gets off of the mat for 5 minutes.
Yeah.
He is just down.
Mm-hmm.
At one point, the Bulldog gets Diesel in a Boston Crab, and Diesel is so close to the ropes. Just use the ropes and save yourself the punishment, you dummy.
Yep.
I mean, it was a different ref. This ref can call a rope break, not like Razor's match. You're fine. There's no way they wouldn't not see it. So, eventually, Diesel powers out of the Boston Crab. Again. But, you could have just saved yourself the punishment, because he powers out of the Boston Crab, and the Bulldog stays right on top. Brett seems kind of unenthused about potentially facing the Bulldog at Survivor Series. He says he wants to prevent another family war. I kind of like this dynamic. Like, Brett isn't picking one way or another, but he has a reason why he wants to face both or why he wants to not face both.
Yeah, for sure. In case you didn't know, Bulldog is Brett's brother-in-law, and they say that many times during the commentary.
Oh yeah, just wait. Give it a just wait. We'll get there. God. Bulldog attempts a vertical suplex. Diesel reverses, suplexes the Bulldog. We think Diesel's gonna get on the offense, and again just can't follow up. Bulldog points at Brett, applies a sharpshooter eventually to Diesel. Diesel powers out, and Jim Ross goes, "Well, that wasn't a Bret Hart version."
Yeah, and Brett said, well, he's not as, basically what he said, I can't remember verbatim what he said, but he was saying, like, well, he's not as good at it as I am.
Yeah, learn to put it on first. Bulldog sets up Diesel for the power slam. Diesel escapes, hits the big boot on the Bulldog. And then he just decides, like, Jim Cornette gets on the apron. Diesel gets distracted. He pulls Jim Cornette into the ring. Bulldog goes for a forearm. Go ahead.
He does the thing where he pulls the ropes and he flips him over. And the guy who's getting flipped does all the work there. That was beautiful by Jim Cornette. I would never have expected that from him.
Jim Cornette had his working pants on.
Yeah, he did.
Bulldog goes to hit Diesel. It inadvertently hits Cornette. Diesel sends Bulldog to the floor. He tries to go out after him. His knee gives out on him. And then Bulldog sends Diesel into the post. And for no reason, turns around and slaps his brother-in-law in the face. Bret Hart leaves the commentary desk, attacks the British Bulldog, and causes a disqualification at 18-14. That match went almost 20 minutes for a DQ.
Dead Space.
There's no way to describe it. It was terrible.
I'm speakless. I'm without speech.
It
makes no sense.
You built this up. You turn the Bulldog. You spend a lot of time building to this, and your champion, who you've already put on a losing streak, does not get off the losing streak. But he's still the champion. And my other issue is, after the match, Bulldog kind of just like hightails it. He's like, I'm leaving.
Oh, and he has no problem with what's going on either. He wins the match by disqualification. He's like happy with that. Like if kayfabe is real, he's an idiot.
So this is the second time they've done this in 2 years, because in SummerSlam of '93, Luger beats Yokozuna by a countout, and they dropped the fireworks, and they dropped
against
the
Yokozuna though. I think that's okay.
It was a title match. He had a bigger celebration than Bulldog in a title match. He beats the champion, and at least Bulldog didn't have an embarrassing celebration, but he leaves, and Diesel's over here. He's pissed at Bret. I'm like, dude, Bret just saved your title.
Yeah.
In reality, you should be thanking Bret Hart.
Yeah. This whole thing is so stupid, dude. I'm like, it makes zero sense whatsoever. I'm at a loss here, bro. Like, why does, first of all, if your brother-in-law is sitting out there on commentary, why do you take a preemptive shot at him? You're going home to a very upset wife tonight, Bulldog. Let me tell you that.
Bret didn't pass the potatoes at dinner.
I guess so, man. That Canadian Thanksgiving is brutal, let me tell you. I just don't know, man. It doesn't make any sense. Why would he take a preemptive slap at Bret Hart? Bret knows what's going to happen. He doesn't care. He's fired up. And Bulldog just doesn't care.
Yeah.
It's a disqualification. He didn't win the title, and he just doesn't care. Now, maybe that'll be different tomorrow night on Raw. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see next week. But I don't know, man. I'm lost here.
We get a very lame pull apart after. It's a very bad pull apart brawl. Even at
until
the soapy wet Cowboys come out.
That's right.
I'm not even excited though. The pull apart is not very good. They go off the air and it's just a very awkward. I'm trying to hit you, but I'm not trying to hit you. Here's the best part, and you don't see it on camera. This is from the Wrestling Observer newsletter. Just as the camera is faded to black at the end of the pay-per-view, this is my favorite part of the whole pay-per-view. A disgusted Vince McMahon throws down his glasses and his headset and says, "Horrible." And he starts to walk to the back with Jim Ross while the pull-apart brawl is still going on. He's just like, "This sucks. I'm out of here."
Okay. I don't even know what to say to that. One thing I will...
In Your House
excuse
4
me.
sucked. In Your
One thing I
House
will
4
say.
sucked.
Yeah, you're not wrong. The Smoking Guns got back in the ring, and they had their pants on, but they didn't have shirts on. So I'm thinking they come out here after the showers again. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I couldn't... Okay, that was weird. I didn't see that they were sudsed up again this time. I didn't see if they had their cowboy boots on or not. But they looked exactly... They had their jeans on, but no shirts on. Like, bro, your match was an hour ago. You can't tell me you haven't put a shirt on yet. Or, something.
You can change clothes.
Yeah. So I'm thinking they got out of the shower again. I don't know what's going on, dude.
Well, that was In Your House 4, Wade. How do you feel after In Your House 4? Better or worse than In Your House 3?
Better if... I was going to say something that I shouldn't say. Never mind. Better by the length of a quark. Okay, not even an atom. I don't know, man.
Yeah. The good news is, the next pay-per-view we cover is also a cluster. 1995 did not have strong pay-per-views across any promotion.
Apparently not.
But we are hoping that next week on the Monday Night Warfare podcast kind of brings us back to reality. We are going back to Raw versus Nitro next week, Wade. This will be the fallout from In Your House 4 and the go-home show for Halloween Havoc 1995. Let's take a recap and let's kind of refocus everybody. Going into next week's episode, you've got Nitro 5-1 ahead on Raw. I've got Nitro 4 too, so it's a very WCW heavy on the scoreboard. But let's run down the cards for both shows. I kind of want to get your opinion on both here. So we'll start with Nitro. It's the final build for Halloween Havoc 1995. We talked about two of the matches. I'll tell you the other match that happens that we haven't talked about yet. So, announced for Nitro, Eddie Guerrero and Alex Wright against Chris Benoit and Dean Malenko.
Ooh,
Lex Luger and Sting against the World Tag Team Champions Harlem Heat with Sister Sherry.
Buddy.
And speaking of Sister Sherry, her love interest.
Those are very different things, my friend.
Listen, I'm very, very distracted of who is coming out in this next match. Her love interest, Colonel Rob Parker, brings in Kurosawa to face the Macho Man Randy Savage.
Mm-hmm.
So, two tag matches I'm looking forward to, and a match I could really just care less about.
Yeah, same.
But, one more thing to note on Nitro. Little extra tease. The Dungeon of Doom has a surprise for Hulk Hogan.
Oh, no. Are they going to break his neck for a third time?
Oh, they're going to break something next week.
Oh, my God.
Just wait for next week and the debut of the new segment of the Dungeon of Doom. Anyway, on Raw.
They're going to break my will to live.
They are going to break... I don't know. They might inspire you to live more. Just wait till you see it. It's great. On Raw, it's the fallout from this debacle of In Your House 4. So the WWF will try to bounce back. We will have the WWF Women's Championship. Alundra Blaze challenges Bertha Faye for the women's title.
Finally.
The debut of Avatar against Brian Walsh.
Okay. I don't even know who either of these guys are, dude.
Avatar is the future Al Snow.
Okay.
In a very bad gimmick.
Oh, no.
Like...
Is he a blue alien?
I wish. Would have been better. You will see Avatar and you will plead for Leif Cassidy. And then, the number one contenders battle royal for the Intercontinental Championship. The winner will face Razor Ramon in 2 weeks on Raw. I'm going to give you the names of the 20 men. Can you pick me a winner? Are you ready?
Yes.
Aldo Montoya, the Portuguese Man of War. Bam Bam Bigelow. Barry Horowitz. Bob Sparkplug Holly, Duke the Dumpster Drosy, Make a Difference Fatu, Hakushi, Henry O. Godwin, Hunter Hearst Helmsley, Isaac Yankum DDS, Jean-Pierre Lafitte, The Supreme Fighting Machine, King Kong Bundy, Marty Jannetty, The Rocket Owen Hart, Rad Radford, Savio Vega, Psycho Sid, Skip, and the 123 Kid.
Bro, that's a great field, bro. Like, I have no clue whatsoever. I have no clue whatsoever it's gonna come.
You very quickly shot down Aldo Montoya.
I don't even know who that is.
That's just incredible.
Oh. Sorry, buddy.
He has a jock strap on his head. It looks like
God.
a jock strap on his head.
Oh man. Who do I pick? This is to face Razor in 2 weeks. You said, right?
Yes.
I'll just go with 123 Kid just to further this thing they got going on. But I have no idea. That's a really good field. I have no clue.
You want them to have 17 more matches on the same
No,
episode of
I
Raw.
don't. I don't say that's what I want to happen. I want Triple H to win. But I don't know.
We will find out next week on the Monday Night Warfare podcast. We thank you for joining us for this special In Your House edition. And next week, it's Raw versus Nitro, Wade.
I'm psyched, bro. It's going to be a fun week.
We thank you for joining us. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. We'll see you next week on the Monday Night Warfare podcast.